I never thought I'd witness this, but the boat market is imploding right before our eyes. Walk into any marina and you'll sense it immediately. Check the online listings and you'll see the carnage. Something catastrophic is unfolding on the waterfront, and this isn't some minor disturbance. We're watching a full-scale meltdown tear through the entire boating industry. Vessels that moved within days are now anchored to their slips for half a year. Values are cratering week by week. Prospective buyers have disappeared. And owners? Many are practically pleading for anyone to take their boats at almost any price. I've navigated through plenty of market cycles, but this situation hits different. It's like watching a boat running at full speed suddenly lose all power. Nobody predicted this level of collapse. Stay with me, because the numbers I'm about to share will leave you stunned. Just a short while back, the boat market was absolutely on fire. Everywhere you turned, boats were disappearing faster than ice cream on a hot summer day. Beat-up old sailboats, pristine new cruisers, everything was moving at lightning speed. People were throwing money around, paying over asking price, some even waiving inspections entirely just to lock down a deal. That buying frenzy was something to behold. But every frenzy eventually crashes, and this one left behind a brutal aftermath. The market is now nursing one massive headache. Here's what nobody wanted to acknowledge during those crazy times. Most of those boats were purchased in pure emotion mode. People got swept up in the fantasy. Romantic sunsets under sail, tropical island adventures, endless weekends of freedom. But critical thinking went out the window. They never asked the tough questions. Is this the right vessel? Can I afford the ongoing expenses? Will I actually use this thing? Fast forward to today, and those identical boats are drowning the market. The listings paint a crystal-clear picture. Barely used, under 30 engine hours, single-season ownership appear everywhere. The fantasy evaporated, and harsh reality kicked in with a vengeance. Today's remaining buyers are operating completely differently. They've witnessed the price collapse. They're scrolling through endless inventory that keeps growing, and they're not feeling any urgency whatsoever. That manic energy has vanished completely, replaced by an uncomfortable stillness. Marinas that once hummed with broker activity now sit eerily quiet. Vessels that would have found new owners within 7 days are now collecting dust for 4, 5, 6 months or longer. Owners are grudgingly dropping their asking prices, and you can hear the frustration bordering on desperation. But the market operates on cold, hard logic. It couldn't care less what you paid 18 months ago. The market only responds to one question: what will buyers pay right this second? And currently, buyers are dictating every single term. But you won't believe what's quietly destroying deals before anyone even picks up the phone. There's one silent assassin systematically murdering boat deals across the country. I'm talking about crushing interest rates that have transformed boat financing from accessible to absolutely prohibitive. Not long ago, when rates hovered near historic lows, financing a boat felt manageable. A nice mid-sized cruiser might run you $600 monthly. A loaded trawler, maybe you'd stretch to $800. The numbers worked out. Today, those identical loans carry drastically higher monthly obligations. Interest rates have absolutely demolished buyer confidence. What used to be 5% might now be 8, 9, or push past 10%. Seems modest on the surface, right? But when you calculate the total interest over a loan, we're talking about adding $20,000, $30,000, even $40,000. Those monthly payments, they explode to unsustainable levels. So what's the response? They're abandoning ship completely. Even people who genuinely want to buy are hitting the pause button. Some are hunting for older boats they can purchase outright with cash. Others have decided to wait indefinitely, gambling that rates will eventually retreat. The outcome? Demand has fallen off a cliff across every category. Dealerships are feeling intense pressure. Brokers are struggling. The anxiety is unmistakable. What makes this worse is countless sellers remain completely oblivious. They're stubbornly clinging to prices they need, failing to comprehend that elevated interest rates mean potential buyers simply can't make the numbers work. Now, before I reveal the next major factor crushing this market, I need to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, Are you currently struggling to sell a boat in this disaster of a market? Or are you watching from the sidelines waiting for the perfect moment to swoop in and grab a deal? I'm genuinely curious about your position because everyone's experiencing this collapse differently. There's also a psychological dimension that flies under most people's radar. Elevated borrowing costs fundamentally alter buyer psychology. Boats represent pure luxury purchases, emotional decisions driven by dreams. When financing feels outrageously expensive, even buyers with substantial resources start second-guessing themselves. Is this really the right time? That seed of doubt, that moment of hesitation, it's lethal to market momentum. Until these rates normalize, the financing component will continue navigating extremely turbulent waters. Something happens when that first icy autumn wind starts blowing. In an instant, every boat owner who was casually contemplating selling transforms into someone who absolutely must sell immediately. You witness this desperation clearly in listings that suddenly flood the market. Motivated seller, haul out approaching. All offers considered, winter storage included. This is about mounting costs, time pressure, and pure desperation. Winter devastates boats. When you're not actively enjoying your vessel, you're hemorrhaging money for it to sit idle. Professional haul-out, thorough winterization, shrink-wrap protection, heated storage, continued insurance, the expenses compound with frightening. For many owners, particularly those who barely touched their boat during prime season, that winter bill represents the breaking point. This marks the precise moment when people examine their marina contract, glance at their dwindling bank account, and declare, "Forget this. I'm done." The fundamental problem is sellers vastly outnumber buyers at this stage. Most intelligent buyers refuse to purchase a boat only to immediately winterize it. They want to actually use their purchase. So they wait strategically, understanding that every additional week strengthens their negotiating position substantially. Desperate sellers attempt various tactics. They bundle electronics, throw in tenders, even offer to absorb storage costs. But ultimately, it always reduces to one simple factor, a dramatically reduced price. If you've got cash ready or pre-approved financing, this is your golden window. You'll discover excellent boats from highly motivated sellers who simply cannot stomach another cycle of winter expenses. Here's the uncomfortable truth about boat ownership that nobody mentions up front. That sticker price? That's merely your entry fee. What appears like an incredible bargain can transform into a bottomless money pit. First arrives the insurance bill, typically far exceeding estimates. Next come marina fees, which mysteriously increase annually. Maintenance expenses, a handful of failed hoses, necessary bottom paint work, routine engine servicing, and suddenly you're dropping several thousand just maintaining basic seaworthiness. Then you need all the equipment. Safety gear, dock lines, fenders, navigation charts, electronics, a dinghy. The list stretches endlessly. Components constantly fail or require upgrading. And we cannot forget storage expenses in cold climates. That's easily hundreds or thousands of dollars just to not enjoy your boat for half the year. Consider that absurdity. For countless new owners who skip their due diligence, these relentless costs arrive as a devastating shock. They carefully calculated monthly loan payments, maybe factored in some fuel and slip fees. But these ongoing expenses, they multiply rapidly and never stop demanding payment. That explains why so many boats hit the resale market within 12 to 24 months. Not because owners stopped loving their boats, but because they simply couldn't sustain the financial burden. There's a quiet tsunami rolling through marinas nationwide, and it's not the kind anyone wants to catch. It's a massive wave of buyer's remorse flooding the market with unprecedented surplus inventory. People who bought into the romantic dream are experiencing a rude awakening. The freedom, the adventure, it's all genuinely there. But for countless owners, it's completely buried beneath an avalanche of maintenance invoices, dockage bills, and time they simply cannot allocate. Now multiply that individual regret across thousands of boat owners simultaneously. The result? Catastrophic inventory overload. What used to display maybe 15 boats in your region now shows 75. What used to sell within 10 days now languishes for months. And we're not discussing derelict project boats. This glut includes genuinely nice, well-maintained, recent model vessels. Yet they sit and sit and sit. What's really driving this unprecedented surplus? Huge numbers realize they don't use their boats enough to justify the crushing expenses. Others encountered serious problems maintaining their vessels or affording repairs. Many are navigating major life transitions. And the boat transformed from a source of joy into just another stress factor. With such overwhelming inventory, buyers possess complete control. They can wait indefinitely, browse hundreds of options, negotiate aggressively, or simply walk away. There's zero pressure on them. Meanwhile, sellers are progressively slashing prices, including valuable extras at no charge, and still getting completely ignored. It's extraordinarily frustrating, and it's generating a quiet panic. You hear it clearly in dockside conversations now. "I just need this thing gone. I really believed it would sell by now." Inventory surplus doesn't merely slow sales. It systematically destroys market confidence, and once regret sets in deep, additional boats flood onto the market. It's a vicious cycle that reinforces itself. So the boat market is taking on water rapidly, whether it's the buying frenzy aftermath, interest rates crushing affordability, winter desperation, or hidden costs ambushing unprepared owners. Everything's converging simultaneously. More boats than ever on the market, fewer buyers than we've seen in years, and countless stressed owners desperately seeking exits. I've witnessed markets rise and crash throughout my years around boats, but this particular collapse feels uniquely severe because emotion drove so much irrational behavior. People jumped in blindly, pursuing a romantic fantasy, and now that dream has become hopelessly entangled with financial reality. But here's my perspective. This type of dramatic market correction, as painful as it is for many, genuinely creates extraordinary openings for intelligent, patient buyers. If you've done thorough homework, if you possess genuine patience and a solid ownership plan, you might discover yourself securing an incredible deal that would have been completely impossible just 18 months ago. For sellers currently struggling, I genuinely empathize. Nobody enjoys taking substantial financial losses. But sometimes cutting your losses beats dragging a heavy anchor through another expensive season of accumulating bills and deepening regret. Markets eventually stabilize and recover. They always do. Boats continue changing hands. And the stories, the adventures, the memories, those keep getting created by people who genuinely belong out there. Before you leave, do me a solid favor. If this breakdown provided valuable clarity, hit that like button hard. Subscribe because I'll be monitoring this market closely and reporting every major development, and leave a detailed comment below sharing your personal story. Are you trapped trying to sell? Strategically waiting to buy? What are you witnessing at your local marina? I genuinely want to hear your experience. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and if you spot a genuinely solid boat at a genuinely fair price, don't hesitate too long. The market might be shifting dramatically, but the right opportunity can still take you exactly where you dream of going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.